This is James Clyburn. You probably recognize him as Nancy Pelosi's number two in command, as the man who anointed Joe Biden in 2020 for the steal. He's been representing a little DEI congressional ghetto district in South Carolina since before you or I were alive. He's been in office for nearly 40 years. He was born before World War II even started. He's an absolute dinosaur at 85 years old, and not to be ageist here, but I frankly don't think that anybody should be able to serve this long and be this corrupt. He is one of the single most corrupt politicians in all of America. And his DEI district, which of course, again, looks like a crackhead drew it in the back of a shopping cart rolling down a pothole-filled road with a speedball and a Four Loko. These districts are drawn like this because in the olden time, meaning a couple months ago or last month, there was something called the Voter Rights Act, Article 2, which was misinterpreted for people like Barack Obama and Eric Holder and libs to sue southern states and say that low IQ, corrupt individuals like James Clyburn have to have seats because you're all white racists. The Supreme Court struck down that law, and now we no longer have to take states that voted for Donald Trump by 20 points. Here's the margin. 18 to be precise, but let's just round up. 20 points. Donald Trump got 500,000 more votes than Kamala Harris in South Carolina. The win percentage is enormous. It's double digits. This was an even stronger performance this is the strongest performance he's ever had. It's the largest Republican margin in the state since 1988. 9 electoral votes go for Donald Trump in South Carolina, in spite of the fact that James Clyburn hold on to their one little screwy, crooked-ass Democrat district like this. I mean, look at this thing. What does this even look like? It's schizophrenic. It's insane. And it frankly needs to, the reason why they draw these, look at this. Look at this. They draw in racial ghettos. This is a D+13 district because they have gone out of their way to sue in order to carve out every little nook and cranny here to make sure that you get as many Democrat voters as possible in this district. And this is how it's been done all throughout the South. Thankfully, it's illegal now. And states like South Carolina need to get with the program and start eliminating these DEI Democrat ghettos. You no longer have to fear that somebody's going to come in and sue you or that you're going to be called a racist by Eric Holder on MSNBC. I know that these Republicans are such cowards. They're such weaklings and women. But here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Governor Henry McMaster is the governor of South Carolina right here saying, I've issued an executive order calling the General Assembly back for an extra legislative session to address the state budget and congressional districts beginning on Friday. South Carolina's other districts are all Republican. They're all Republican by 20 points. But this district right here, as you can see, is gerrymandered to absolute hell because they're so scared of getting called names and sued because of a little war that happened about 150 years ago that South Carolina played a role in. Fort Sumter, pretty important location. Anyway, the point is that Republicans have to stop being weak and play to win. Now, I've been very upset over the fact that many Republicans have not gone the full stretch and gone in and eliminated all Democrat seats from their states. Louisiana is one that comes to mind. Mississippi, the governor of Mississippi is a total coward. These are states that have decided to not get rid of Democrat seats and to not follow through with the orders of the Supreme Court in order to eliminate racially gerrymandered, racist districts. And it just shows a lack of a willingness to win. We've handed probably probably 4 or 5 more seats to the Democrats this election cycle, and that absolutely could be the margin in the House. The case right now, South Carolina, where the state rejected to extend its legislative session for redistricting. Now they did this. They did this a couple of days ago. The governor has then ruled over the top of them and said, no, we are going to try and redistrict, which is the very good news. In New England, 40% of Republicans, and this is the New England vote, the average number of Republicans per state in New England is approximately 40%. So in every state in New England, there's approximately 40% of the state that is Republican. 0 congressional seats are given to Republicans. One side gets locked out entirely while the other gets federally protected seats. How is this representative government? Nearly half of New Hampshire votes Republicans and ends up with 0 seats in Congress. It's not democracy. South Carolina GOP leadership needs to stop surrendering, stop playing by rules that Democrats created. You need to call a special session now. And guess what? He did. This tweet, by the way, did well, right? And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, calling that special session. Massive news, big news, very good. Thank you, Governor. This is an actual step for President Trump. The people of South Carolina, we will send 7 Republicans to Washington, D.C. this November to work with the president in making life affordable for working families. President Trump and McMaster have shown the way forward. When you fight, you win. When I'm governor here in South Carolina, we're going to fight and we're going to win. So this is the lieutenant governor who's running for office right now. People are celebrating this. This is big news. Goodbye, James Clyburn. James Clyburn, again. You just constantly find this guy's like constantly on CNN. He's like constantly doing these dopey interviews. They just drag him out in order to defend Nancy Pelosi, attack President Trump. He's ubiquitous on all of these corporate media and TV stations. I find it amazing that it is these dumbest members of Congress from the most rigged districts that get the most news time. It is fascinating when it comes to who gets booked on TV. It's actually the most corrupt. It always has been. Note 4 Republican governors immediately and reflexively refused to redraw racist gerrymandered districts. Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia flip-flopped after massive public outcry. Mississippi still refuses. When will Republicans stop electing such impotent leaders? Where are the fighters? Look out, James Clyburn. That's right. South Carolina governor officially calls special session. South Carolina House will return tomorrow at 11 a.m. South Carolina Senate will tentatively return on Monday. The Senate opponents plan to delay and try running out the clock. They need to redistrict now. Some of the whole like Southern gentlemanly, the whole Southern gentleman shtick needs to die. These like weakling, limp-wristed, silk-stocking Republicans stalling. That's the plan to kill South Carolina redistricting. If rhinos can drag their feet till May 26th, when early morning voting starts, it's dead this year. GOP Majority Leader Massey says, I can't imagine we're going to be asked to vote on a map without having any opportunity to really look at it or study the numbers. There's nothing for the Senate to do in an upcoming special session. Republican Senate opposes already agreed they need public hearings around the state map and proposed map. Don't let them get away with it. Yeah. We've seen this pressure work. We've seen it work in Indiana. We were able to get 4 new Republican seats in Florida in like 24 hours with Ron DeSantis. It's simply a lack of willpower. South Carolina voters are paying attention. Final Republican holdouts on redistricting. Make sure that you get their names known. The Republican leaders, South Carolina legislators have priorities. You just aren't one of them. South Carolina's House votes to double their own pay. This is before they pass a redistricting bill. Yeah. That's the way it always goes. Ladies and gentlemen, apply pressure. We have been winning. This is something, the historic white pill, if you want to see one. Cook Political Report, 2026 House rankings. Republican 210, Democrats 207, toss-ups 18. 218 are needed. And some of the toss-ups are from my home state of Iowa right here. Look at how gerrymandered Illinois is. Look at that. What a nightmare, that state. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an endangered, the Democrat Party is an endangered species All we need to do is now to have the will to win. In 2028, the GOP could easily have a floor of 222 with one extra from Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Utah, Nebraska, Kansas, and New Hampshire, and two from Georgia, 222 before Texas and Florida put on the squeeze, though it's best to consider them easier erasers for New York, California, and Illinois, and Maryland. Here we go. The redistricting wars have been lost by Democrats. It's a beautiful thing. Look at this map. Ladies and gentlemen, you live in a red kingdom and a red country. Never, ever forget it. And start acting like it. Okay? That goes to the Republicans in the South. Right here, right there. Look at that. Look at that stupid district. Weakness. Let's get rid of it. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.